Reports have come out that Corey Perry is signing with the Edmonton Oilers, and we'll break all of it down for you coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say that 82.3% of you guys watching this aren't subscribed. So if you're looking for a place for NHL content, look no further. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, join the road to 3,000 subscribers with us. We'd really appreciate it. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is Corey Perry headed to oil country. And as we take a look here from the NHL Network, they say Corey Perry is reportedly headed to oil country as he's signed now as a free agent to the Edmonton Oilers. And as we see from David Pagnotta on Twitter earlier today, he did say sounds like there's traction being made between the Oilers and free agent veteran Corey Perry. The decision could come soon, and then he did follow up that tweet saying hearing a deal has been agreed to, I believe, and announced it will be made later today. And obviously, Corey Perry, a league veteran, almost a 20-year league veteran in the NHL, his 18th season here this year. And obviously, if you've been watching the NHL over these last couple of years, over this last decade, really, you would know the name Corey Perry. And so far this season, before being terminated with the Chicago Blackhawks, he did have 9 points in 16 games. And as we see here, he's been a great player here in the NHL. Having a 98-point season back in 2010, 2011. But right now, for this Oilers team, I really do think this is a great veteran presence to bring into this club. A team that's kind of been on a little bit of a roll here lately, getting back up in the standings, getting back into the playoff hunt, and now bringing in a guy like a veteran getting Corey Perry is really going to help their playoff push going forward.
Yeah, the Oilers are one of the hottest team, if not the hottest team in the NHL right now. And like you said, bringing in a veteran just adds so much to this lineup. I know the big question is everyone's going to say, is he going to be a good fit? Is this going to be kind of a locker room cancer? What's the whole situation? They obviously did a deep dive on this situation. They definitely looked into it, did their kind of just information. They had to get everything they could from the termination. I know a lot of people came out. Elliot Freeman said that a lot of clubs wouldn't have terminated Corey Perry for whatever happened in Chicago. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a just kind of a situation where you're going to look at this and say this is a bad sign. And because of that, you kind of look at the Oilers too. They brought in a guy like Zach Cassian after he had a bit of off ice issues. Evander Kane, both these guys turned their career around and have looked great ever since. Zach Cassian obviously not here, but when was here during his time. So bringing in Corey Perry is another guy that's looking to make a name for himself, kind of turn things around from the whole situation in Chicago. They get a guy that can come in, fill out your third, your fourth, maybe even second line. He can pot your goals. He's going to bring the veteran leadership, Stanley Cup leadership, and just everything this Oilers team is kind of missing from their depth.
Yeah, and we've seen in previous years the Oilers kind of struggle in the playoffs when it comes. They can't get over that hump. And maybe adding a guy like Corey Perry, like you said, he brings that Stanley Cup experience. I mean, he was there 3 years in a row as well, but he did ultimately end up losing. But he knows what it takes to get to the finals and get through the playoffs. And I really do think this is really what the Oilers need. They need a guy to come in and be like, this is what we need to do come crunch time. And I'm really excited that he's getting a second chance here. I really didn't want him to end his career the way it happened with him being terminated and all this stuff. But I mean, it's great to see him get a second opportunity here in Edmonton and really show everybody that, he's 38 years old, but he can still play in the NHL. And I really do think that this guy is really going to help lead this team through the playoffs this year and potentially be contending for a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that's the big thing. This is a guy that wants to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. He wants to win another one. This is a big thing for Corey Perry. He looked at this Oilers team, the big winning streaks they're on, having the league's best player in Connor McDavid, and having guys like Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Zach Hyman that's playing outstanding, and just adding another guy that could possibly pot you 20, especially if you put him on the line with Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, a guy like McDavid for sure. So he's going to bring in scoring, but he also brings in the pestiness that this team can use. I mean, Evander Kane is the definition of being a pest on the ice. So what better chance of just getting two guys like this in your lineup? They can produce and just bring this kind of the edge to their game that the Oilers need in playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Yeah, I think I'm really excited to see what Corey Perry can do here in Edmonton. I think it's going to be a really fun team to watch. They already are a fun team to watch. Like you said, the hottest team in the NHL right now. Bring in a veteran guy like Corey Perry, a guy who can get in the mix a little bit. I think it's going to be really fun to to watch. But we're going to get into our second topic here, which is the new look Oilers, where we think that Corey Perry may fit in on this roster. And as we take a look at their lines, right now we're looking at maybe Warren Foegele maybe slipping down to that third line, or if they're fine with keeping Foegele on the line with Draisaitl and Kane, maybe we see Corey Perry slot in Derek Ryan slot here and play on that third line with Ryan McLeod and Matthias Janmark. Mark, what do you think here? Do you think when Corey Perry gets in here, do you think he immediately slots into that second line, or do you think he starts on the third line, proves his worth, and then shifts up to the second line?
I think he's going to start more on the fourth line. I know Connor Brown's been struggling quite mightily for the Edmonton Oilers. He has been since he's got there this season. But the big thing with this is the team's producing, this team's winning. They don't want to shake things up too much by, moving around too many pieces in the top six and the top nine. So could see Perry maybe sliding into this fourth line just to get his feet back under him, just see what they can do. When they do go on a skid, if they ever lose another game, who knows at this point because of how good they're playing, then you might look at maybe moving them up, maybe slowly work them into the third, maybe the second if you need them up there. But I think just having them, and even on your fourth line, is just such a big add for the Oilers.
Yeah, he's a guy who's going to go out there. He's going to crush some bodies into the board on that fourth line. And I think it's just going to be great. He's a great presence. He's a sits in front of the net type of guy. He's going to park that big body in front of a goalie and just try to tip one in from a defenseman. So I think, having him on this fourth line starting out, like you said, you don't want to shake things up here. They're on a roll. You don't want to immediately slot him into the second line and just throw a wrench into it all. I think, like you said, he has to earn his way here. He starts out on the fourth, and if they start to struggle a little bit, maybe we see him shift up to the third. Maybe we see him shift up to the second. But it'll be really interesting to see what they do here in Edmonton with Corey Perry. But I really do think the fourth line start is the best option, like you said. But we do see here the power play unit is where it could become interesting here for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously you don't want to touch that first power play unit because, that's playing phenomenal right now. But if you look at that second power play unit, maybe you see him slot in here for a guy like Warren Foegele, maybe Ryan McLeod here. It'd be really interesting to see what they do with this second power play unit, because this is a guy who could come in, like I said, he's going to park himself in front of the net on this power play and just let, the defensemen and these forwards just rip shots at him all day long.
Yeah, the big thing with Perry, you could put him on the second power play, and he's just going to make a living in front of that net. He's going to tip shots in, he's going to screen the goalie, and even his one-timer is still pretty good at the age of 38. So the big thing with him is you not only add a fourth liner, but this is a guy that you can move up in the lineup in a pinch. You can play on your second power play, your top power play. Anyone can really play with Connor McDavid. We've learned that very fast. So getting a guy like this in the lineup is just going to make it easier for the Oilers to be able to shift things around and just really work their way into finding the perfect combinations to go for a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen guys here, older guys in the NHL, kind of turn back the clock at times here. And I really do hope we see this out of Corey Perry because, Corey Perry is a great player in this league. And coming onto this Oilers team with such star-studded talent, I really think is going to help him. And I think the Edmonton Oilers may make a run at this year. We want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Corey Perry reportedly headed to the Oilers? And what do you think about this Oilers team? Are they going to be Cup contenders this year? Let us know down below in the comment section. We're going to get into everybody's favorite topic, comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Kenra. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he says Patty Waugh will turn the Isles into a force and winner. And if you missed yesterday's video, it'll be popping up on your screen towards the end of this video. But yeah, Patty was back behind the bench in the NHL with the New York Islanders, and I really do think that he's going to turn this team into a force and into a winning team. But let us know down below what you think about all that. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road for 3,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate it if you went down and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out that Patty Waugh video, it's going to be popping up on your screen right now. And as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.